Hey everyone, and welcome to a new special episode of Startup Talks. Today, we're asking one of the most important questions any startup founder needs to answer. Where does your target audience actually live online? We'll go through 5 topics, each one busting a myth, and each one backed by a real story. Let's start with a myth that feels completely logical on the surface. If everyone in B2B is posting on LinkedIn, LinkedIn must be the right platform.
Following the crowd does seem reasonable until you realize the crowd is exactly the problem.
Right. LinkedIn's organic reach is brutal. About 1 in 500 posts actually goes viral. The algorithm decides who sees what, and with everyone fighting for the same feed, you're competing on their terms.
So what's the alternative? Just avoid LinkedIn entirely.
Not necessarily, but here's a story. A guy named Marcus built a B2B SaaS for construction project managers. He noticed all his competitors were on LinkedIn doing the thought leadership thing. Instead, he went to a niche subreddit, r construction managers, and answered about 3 questions a week for 60 days.
And the result?
40 warm inbound DMs. 0 competitors in his niche on that channel. People started calling him the guy who actually helps.
I'd call that survivorship bias. He probably tried a bunch of channels that didn't work before this one clicked.
That's a fair point. But here's the thing. That's exactly the process. You have to be willing to fail on multiple channels before you find the one where you're the only voice in the room.
Agreed. The lesson isn't go to Reddit instead of LinkedIn. It's that your ICP might be on a platform where your competitors haven't bothered to show up yet, and that's where you can win.
Second topic, and this one I see constantly, founders choosing channels based on personal comfort. The myth is, create content where it feels easiest for you.
Which sounds reasonable. If you love writing, write. If you're good on camera, do video.
But your comfort as a creator has nothing to do with where your audience actually is. Here's a real example. A founder, call her Lena, built HR software for mid-sized companies. She loves writing, so she went all in on Substack. After 8 months, she had 240 subscribers and 3 sign-ups.
Because HR directors aren't reading newsletters to discover new tools.
Exactly. They're on LinkedIn in Slack communities for HR professionals, getting recommendations from peers. She spent 8 months writing beautifully into a void.
And the frustrating part is the content was probably good. The problem wasn't the writing, it was the address.
That's a perfect way to put it. Good content, wrong address. And the key lesson, keep experimenting, especially if you don't have a budget for paid ads.
Right. If you're going to fail, fail fast and on cheap channels. Don't spend 8 months on the wrong one.
Which brings us to the next topic. If you have 0 budget for paid ads, what actually works in 2026?
I have a feeling you're going to say something counterintuitive.
3 channels, and one of them will surprise people. Short-form video, community Q&A, which we've already touched on, and simple SEO optimized landing pages. That's it.
Short form video for B2B? Really?
Yes, and there's a myth here too, that organic short-form video is basically dead because algorithms only boost paid content. The reality, TikTok's average organic engagement is around 18%. 1 in 50 posts goes viral, meaning 10,000 to 20,000 views or more.
1 in 50 is actually pretty meaningful if you're consistent.
Exactly. Here's the example. A guy named Carlos had a SaaS tool for freelance designers. 0 ad budget. Every Tuesday, he posted a 90-second Figma workflow tip on TikTok. His first 8 videos got between 200 and 800 views each.
So basically nothing at first.
His 9th video, Stop Using Figma Auto Layout Wrong, hit 340,000 views in 72 hours. He woke up with 4,200 new followers and 60 real signups, not a single cent spent on ads.
I actually have a TikTok channel for a beauty salon I work with. Around 150 videos, biggest one got maybe 3,000 views. No viral moment, but it keeps the salon booked.
That's the real lesson. Don't build your strategy around going viral. Build it to work even without virality. Steady reach that converts is more valuable than chasing a spike.
And when the viral moment does come, it's a bonus, not the plan.
Exactly. But don't call a channel dead until you've posted 50 times. That's the minimum signal. Topic 4. How do you pick your first platform? And here's the most common mistake: choosing the platform you personally use as a consumer.
I use Instagram, I know how it works, I'll post there.
Right. Here's Anna. She built a project management tool for architecture firms. She's been on Instagram since 2015, knows the platform inside out, makes beautiful content. She spent 7 months posting there, got 1,100 followers, and essentially 0 B2B leads.
Because her buyers aren't scrolling Instagram looking for project management tools.
Her ICP is senior partners at architecture firms, 40 to 55 years old. They use Instagram for vacation photos. They find new tools through LinkedIn, peer recommendations, and YouTube tutorials, not reels.
And here's what I'd add. Even if you find a platform that works, never go all in on just one. If you do, you'll get good at that one channel and completely lose the muscle for finding new ones.
Say more on that.
Competitors eventually find the same channel you're on, saturate it, and suddenly you're back to fighting the algorithm. If you haven't been testing other channels along the way, you're starting from zero.
So what's the right ratio?
Something like 9 posts to your main channel, 3 to experimental ones. Keep a small slice of your effort doing counterintuitive things. You might post somewhere that seems wrong for you and suddenly get 1,000 new followers from a platform you dismissed.
The algorithm logic actually supports this. Google, TikTok, Facebook all build in variability. They don't just optimize for what worked yesterday. Founders should operate the same way.
Test with a budget, not with your entire strategy.
Last topic. 2 myths that are almost universally believed inside B2B marketing circles, especially in Germany.
Let me guess, TikTok is only for teenagers.
That's the first one. The assumption is that TikTok is B2C and Gen Z, so B2B founders shouldn't bother. But 35% of TikTok users are between 25 and 34. That's a very purchase-capable demographic.
And they're not just watching dance videos.
Definitely not. A founder named Mia built bookkeeping software for small business owners. Everyone told her TikTok was for teenagers. She ignored them and started posting 60-second videos. Things like the bookkeeping mistake that triggers a tax audit. Her ICP, small business owners, 28 to 45, watches exactly that content. That video got 15,000 views on TikTok. The same post on LinkedIn got 400.
The audience is there, people just haven't looked for them.
She got enough DMs from that to close real customers. Second myth, Reddit is too hostile for lead generation.
Reddit users do aggressively reject anything that smells like a sales pitch.
True, but there's a founder named Greg who sells CRM systems to independent insurance agents. He was afraid of Reddit for that reason. Instead, he spent 6 weeks answering 2 questions a week in R Insurance. Detailed, genuinely helpful answers. 0 product mentions.
Let me guess. On week 7, someone asked about CRM tools for insurance agents.
Exactly that. And 3 people in the thread tagged Greg's username from his previous answers. He replied, linked his product. 12 people clicked, 4 booked a demo, 1 converted at $4,800 a year. Total investment, 3 hours a week for 7 weeks.
The key was that he built credibility before he ever mentioned his product. The community vouched for him.
That's the only way Reddit works for this. You can't shortcut it, but if you put in the time, the trust compounds.
I'd summarize both myths the same way. Less assumption, more experimentation. You can't know in advance what's going to land, and by the time you read about someone else's success on a channel, it's already crowded.
The channels that haven't been written up yet are the ones worth finding. That's all for today. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode of Startup Talks.